thought behind that this journey has taught me a lot rather than me trying to teach somebody else. So that's how I will kind of put the journey all the way from being a pilot officer to right up to the wing commander's rank.
Yes, sir. And Afraz, sir, sir, how did you get up with such wonderful idea of honor point?
Uh, yeah, so as I said, that I come from the military background. So this one, I always knew, I always felt this. There was a need to bring the stories of the martyrs of our country into public domain. Uh, and during my growing up years, I visited various memorials. So whenever I would visit memorial, I would just see the names, and without much details, the name, numbers, unit, and regiment, and the year of martyrdom. That's all. The stories are lost. So that thought always bothered me as to what happened to these soldiers, what happened to their families, where do they go actually, after just having limelight for a few days or few hours, that's all. So this thought was always on my mind, and but it got crystallized during the Kargil War. When I would watch TV, because Kargil War was the first war which was brought to your drawing rooms, right? Most of us, I mean, probably you were too young, all of you must have been very young, but people are old enough, they would know, they would remember that Kargil War was seen in their drawing rooms. They could see the war happening in their drawing rooms. So when you watch TV, we would see the martyrs and their pictures being flashed, the pictures of their family members being flashed, and that's all. After a few days, nobody even remembers the names. So that actually, my idea got crystallized during that period. And when I got retired after hanging my boots, I thought of creating this, bringing these stories into public domain and inspire the people of the country to do something for the country, in their own way. So the idea is not to inspire people to join the armed forces, but to think about the country, like they did. They gave away everything. At least you can do something, for the country. So this thinking about the country is the underlying idea actually, and the whole idea is to make people realize that they have some moral obligation towards them and towards the country, and that realization I want to bring about through these stories of these soldiers who have sacrificed their lives for the country. That is the whole idea.
Yes, sir. And Girish Kumar, sir, can you describe some of the most memorable moments of Akshay Girish Memorial Trust that is motivating the students of colleges and schools towards service to the nation?
Yes, that's another, I would say, changing moment of our lives. I would like to speak a little bit about our son Major Akshay. Right from the beginning, he was very keen to join the defense services. And his first choice was to become a fighter pilot like me. And he cleared all his exams. And in the last stage, when you have to take the medical exam, that's the time doctors found that one of his eye was slightly weak. And so he had to give up the idea of becoming a fighter pilot because the eyesight has to be perfect before you get into the Air Force as a pilot. So now he had a choice. He had a choice of either changing from Air Force to join the Army or the Navy, or he also had a choice because by then I had retired from the Air Force and I was a commercial pilot, and his choice was to become a pilot in an airline. I was with Jet Airways at that point in time, but he chose to continue with his dream of wearing uniform and decided to join the army. So this focus, what he showed, was quite rare, and to us also it came as a bit of a surprise that he's so clear in his mind and choosing his path. So after we lost him in 2016, he was leading a quick reaction team against Jaish-e-Mohammed terrorists who had taken up some hostages in Nagrota army camp, and eventually fighting them, he lost his life. So we thought this there has to be some kind of a follow on to his legacy of what he stood for all along. In spite of having so many choices, he made his choices. So that's how our journey started with the Major Akshay Girish Memorial Trust. And our first workshop, which we conducted in Bangalore, was attended by the students from not one, from different colleges. And we were very surprised. We were surprised that on their own, students had come from outside Bangalore as well. On their own, they journeyed, they caught their buses, they caught their trains, they came and joined and attended the workshop. And our interaction with the students, it was almost a full day workshop, was most satisfying for us to see that there is so much hunger in young people to understand, to learn, and to see what can be done about our nation. So, yeah, the journey for Major Akshay Girish Trust has been very good since then. We've been working with students in the college. We have gone on to organizing some kind of scholarships, motivating them, giving them more information. The journey has also gone on to schools level, where at the stage of class 9 or class 10, we've been taking regular classes at the government schools in different places. And also, little more now, it is diverging towards helping families which need some kind of a help, whether it's a martyr family, whether it's children of soldiers. And even during this pandemic, both me and my wife, we went out and we were interacting with the migrants. We were distributing masks, we were distributing sheets, talking to them and seeing the vibrancy of our own country. Vibrancy in the sense that how people cope with difficult times and how they find answers, and how there are many people who are willing to stand and do good. So our journey has been very good with the trust, and as we move along, we hope to continue doing that, interacting with students, guiding them, taking input from them, help from them, and you know, making ourselves a better country, a better nation, a better citizen. I think that's will sum up the entire objective of this Major Girish Trust.
Yes, sir. So now over to Afraz, sir. So, sir, how does being a wing commander in the past help you now?
Uh, I think, first of all, I am very thankful to Wing Commander Abhinandan, who has made this rank very popular. At least, people now know, this rank of Wing Commander. Okay, uh, so that's in the lighter vein. But whatever, like I have learned, in my journey in the Air Force, and whatever I am doing today or whatever I am today is because of my service in the Air Force. So that's it. I think whatever I have learned in managing people, in looking at the world, looking at various things. Because the journey when you interact, when you with various people, doing your jobs, your thoughts form up, and you develop certain ideas, thoughts about a country, about this world, and about other people. What do they expect? What are their aspirations? What, as Indian citizens, we should do for the country, apart from being an Air Force officer. So all these, it's a long journey. And that's how the you become a person what you are. Because you are a product of your thoughts. So I think whatever I am today, it is because I was a wing commander, and I take pride in that.
Yes, sir. So, sir, not just me, there are so many people waiting to interact with you, sir, with you
Yeah, sure.
both. So, let me hand over it to Neha. Yeah, she'll be taking over.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Happy birthday, Girish, sir.
Thanks so much.
Yes, sir. So the same question what Afra sir just answered. Would you like to share your opinions on that?
Could you just repeat the question, please?
Yes, sir. So, how was it for you to being a wing commander? What would did it teach to you in your life?
Uh, a wing commander, for me, being a wing commander was a kind of recognition of my own worth to the service, a recognition of my own achievements of being capable of holding the rank and its responsibilities, and so that's what it signified to me. And if in this journey I learned so many things which are being helpful to me right now also as I come out. And this is kind of, I feel, important for all to understand. What we go through in the defense service uh, is what makes us special as we go out and we interact with people. And the moment we say, our rank is a wing commander or whatever, what is expected out of us already laid against the standard. That this is the standard you have to, produce and you have to give. So yes, this Vic commander's rank is very dear to me, and I feel very proud to hold this rank, and I will do so the rest of my life.
Wonderful, sir. Also, would you like to share your experience? How did it feel when you got posted in Jodhpur for the first time?
So Jodhpur was the first place of posting, and after training, this was the first time a pilot joins the operational squadron. It's a unique experience because from being just a trainee who's you know learning, catching on with things, to actually go on join a squadron where you have to deliver the goods. So the actual journey of learning starts, and my journey started in Jodhpur. That is the place where I made closest of my friends. That is the place where I actually learned how to fly the fighter planes, and that is the place where I would say from a boy, I became a man in that sense of becoming just from a novice pilot to experienced pilot who's accomplished and who's declared capable of going into action and doing the job that you're supposed to do. The aircraft I was flying is a ground attack aircraft, and our primary job was dropping bombs and firing rockets and learning to you know learning to do that well. So yes, the Jodhpur was the most unique experience. Making friends, getting into the Air Force, settling down, as well as becoming a fully operational fighter pilot.
Afraz, sir, would you like to share how was your experience when you got first placed into this?
Uh, because I was in the technical branch, our first posting was actually to Barrackpur, that's in Calcutta, where we had to undergo specialist training on missiles squadron. So there, actually, our that was technically the first posting where I underwent a long course. That was along with our batchmates. So it was like a continuation of our training period. So we had really fun doing that course. And after that, only we got our first post. I mean, you can say that was the second post technically. So I got posted to Ambala, and that is again a fighter base, and I was posted to a missile squadron. And our actually the location of our squadron was very far, from the Air Force base. So we would travel every day, almost 60 to 70 kilometers every day. So that was a very unique experience of traveling on huge vehicles, because we had specialist vehicles in a missile squadron. They're the huge vehicles, are very different Russian vehicles. So traveling and learning to drive those vehicles, and learning the nuances of the new missile system which you're trained on. And I was the baby of the fort, like the youngest officer. So everybody would pamper, would treat you very well, and so it was a great experience of learning with a lot of love, affection, guidance from all the seniors. And those things I imbibed, and I also try to do the same thing when I grew older to the young officers who would join the units. So that was my experience.
Wonderful, sir. And also, like, whenever we talk about Girish Kumar sir or Afraz sir, people have goosebumps. Like, they are awardees, they're winners of so many things. You're a public speaker. Sir is the best in flying awardee. So there's so many things you guys achieved. But this wasn't easy. So could you share us how you faced the struggles, how difficulties you faced, and how you reached to this position, inspirational position right now?
Uh, okay, this is uh, this question it takes me back to before I joined Air Force. The general impression used to be, okay, now you have become a pilot. You go, you fly the plane, you enjoy yourself, and you come back. I never realized that once you get into this job, you have to study much more than any kind of anything you do in terms of flying. Before that, you got to study a lot. And what I realized, I had to study much more than what I studied during my colleges. So yes, there is no shortage of hard work, but at the end of it, when you learn new things, when you know get the skills to do something, that is great. Like for example, becoming a flying instructor, one had to learn so many things, so many new subjects. So first, only when you do that, you can become an instructor to teach others, and that used to take up so much of our time in trying to study. During my school days and early college days, I used to be quite weak in maths actually. That was my weaker subject. But having joined the Air Force, I had no choice. I had to take lessons, I had to take classes, and I had to, come up to the standard as far as mathematics was concerned. So there was a fairly large amount of studying which is done. And even in the last bit of my career, I was in Defense Services Staff College as a member of faculty. The joke which we had at that point in time was that as a member of faculty, you're actually studying more than the students to come up to their standards. So yeah, there's a lot of studies one has to do, but it is after you finish, it is enjoyable. I can say that with surety.
Afraz sir?
Yeah, I think I'll probably share my journey of honor point, which will be more relevant for you people, for young people who are listening to this talk. Uh, like when I also did a management course from IIM Ahmedabad. So there, one thing was which I learned was that a lot of emphasis was given on entrepreneurship, doing something. And there was one boy in a parallel course, who was handicapped. So he had some polio problem. He couldn't even walk properly. So he was handicapped. And when they passed out, he passed out. So he decided to not take up any job, but start a company, a startup. And since we were also passing out, so he came to me and said, "Why don't you join me? I'm starting this venture." And he was so convincing. He was so clear in his thoughts. He was getting wonderful offers because he was, after all, I am a graduate. But he decided to do that. And of course, I couldn't join him because I was still serving that time, and my release had not come through. And so that really impacted me. And also, there was another boy in the course where he had got a fantastic offer, maybe a 1 CR offer, which is a fantastic offer even 10 years back. And he also decided not to join that company, and he also decided to start his own venture. So this is one thought which I learned from there, that which I want to tell you people, that India needs more of job creators. and not job seekers. Okay, so you must consider this thought. Of course, it's a tough call to take. It's a tough road to take. Lot of it really exacts your whatever you have as a person in terms of all your talent. It really exacts all your energy, but it is worth taking. So this is something which I would like to convey to young people, that try to become job creators rather than job seekers. At least give it a try. Okay, and that's what India needs. India needs more job creators and not job seekers. And you people have to support this what India needs. So that is one idea I would like to give. And second is, of course, it's a tough road. I can share my experience with honor point. I have been doing this 365 days, 24/7 for the last 5 years. And it has been a very, very tough journey, very lonely journey. Uh, and especially not for profit. If you are starting a business venture, it may still be easy, because some people might support you, because they can see some light at the end of the tunnel, that this venture could succeed, and they could get some benefits. So with that hope, some people might support. But yeah, nothing at the end of the tunnel. Also, there's nothing. Financially, there is no financial gain. So it's very, very tough to get support. So it is your belief, your passion, your belief in doing something different, something which you are really passionate about, and something which you value. For example, the point which I'm trying to make is, at least for young people, yes, when you're young, everybody wants to earn, and you have a lot of aspirations, a lot of things you want to acquire. So everything needs money. So the pursuit of wealth is always there. There. But what I want to tell the young people is that pursuit of wealth is not the only thing in life. There are other pursuits which are worth pursuing, worth following. Give it a try. Give it a try. So I will advise all the young people to associate with some cause, and do something for the society, for the nation. Think about others. That is very, very important. Like in Hindi, you say, अपने लिए जिए तो क्या जिए. I mean, the life you only live for yourself is not worth living. Think about others, do something for others. And so this is one thought I would like to leave with you, with the young guys, that I'm sure most of you would look for a very high paying jobs, and everybody is looking for uh, earning a lot. But apart from that, these things are very important. One, as I said, try to think about becoming a job creator. That is one. Second, associate with some cause, because thinking about others, doing something for others, actually makes you a complete person, and that is very, very important to live a meaningful life. And we all, you all are educated, and that is the mental faculties are developed. Education means what? Education means not just merely signing, because your mental faculties are developed, so you are able to think independently. Think, use that mental faculty to help others. And even if you want to do a business venture, there's a lot of potential in India, especially in the rural areas, in the bottom of the pyramid, where you can, start ventures profitably, even for profit. But by doing that, you are helping the society and the nation as well. So, think about those lines. Think on those lines. This is what I just want to convey.
Yes, sir. As we started talking about initiative, could you brief us about if you have any heart-touching experience during the formation of this initiative till today, and what are the future goals of your initiative?
Well, there have been many, many heart-touching moments and incidents. Uh, so, okay, I'll share one odd. When we actually we have been, as I said, we have been working for nearly 5 years now, and we, after working for nearly 2 years, we launched 3 years back, about 2017 now. 3.5 years we have finished. So when we had recently launched, so yeah, some of you who have seen the site, it gives the story of the matter, and the profile of the matter, and depends the amount of information depends on how much information is available, through various sources. So the amount of information varies from matter to matter. In some cases we have lot information, in some cases we don't have that kind of information. So there was one profile about one flying officer, Bunsha, flying officer Bunsha, Bunshu. He was a fighter pilot, uh, and he became a martyr in 1965 war. 1965, more than 55 years ago. And so his profile was there in our website, and he received a mail from one lady who had visited that profile, and she wrote a mail and also paid tribute to that officer. And she said, that I'm so thankful to you for bringing a story into public domain. I have no words to thank you because he's such a wonderful person, and it's so difficult to get a person like him in today's world. This, why was she saying all this? Because she was engaged to him. He became a martyr in September 1965, and they were engaged just 1 month before that, August. And she wrote that she still lives by his words. She said about life. He said life is about bumps and bruises. And it all depends on how you take it. What you wish to make the life out of it. Going through all these, bumps and bruises. And she said, he was such a wonderful guy. He loved flying, he loved his aircraft, and he loved his mother, and he loved me. And I still live by his words. This a 70-year-old lady saying, who was engaged to him. And, I had really goosebumps. It really touched my heart that, after 55 years, there's somebody is saying, who was so attached to that person. And he still has those feelings after 55 years. Imagine that. So that day itself, I realized that whatever my aim was, I have already achieved this. I just, if it can touch the lives of the people in somehow, and the kind of satisfaction and the kind of wealth of positivity it creates, that wealth cannot monetize it, cannot measure it in terms of money. And that was one of the touching moments. And that day I felt that whatever trouble I have, it was really worth it. So this is one incident, and there's another incident. There was another martyr's father. You know, his son became a martyr in 2010. He was again in the Air Force. And we had conducted a program, because we do programs, we collaborate with very different organizations, where our aim is to make these families feel respected, honored by the society which they belong to. Okay, they are not looking at money, they're not looking at anything, they are not even asking anything. But it is our moral obligation as citizens of this country to make them, to take the first step, go to them and make them feel respected, make them feel honored, make them feel cared for, give them that feeling that country cares for them. That feeling is very, very important. So so there was one program where we had collaborated with an organization, and this family also came, and that the kind of honor, respect, or interaction you had with people and all that, that changed his life, in fact, because he was very morose. He was very sad by the incident, and he was not seeing anything, no light in his life. And after that incident, after this experience, he got motivated, and he decided to start afresh and put some energy into in his life. And so he started an organization. in the name of his son, and they started doing a lot of social work, and they have adopted now more than 80 children of slum going children, and they're teaching them, and they're coaching them, and also they conduct a lot of programs to encourage youth to join the armed forces. So his life has changed. So this is another experience for me, and if by any means we are able to touch the lives of the people and create that positive positivity among the people, bring some cheer, bring some hope into the lives of the people. What else do you need? I mean, that's a great achievement, I think. And no amount of money can compensate for that. So these are the some of the, there are many more which really touched my heart.
Thank you so much for sharing those with us, sir. Girish sir, as Afroz sir stated, right, that how our youth is running towards money, and there are very less number of people who want to do something for other people or for their motherland. What do you want to say about it? How would you motivate people to do something for their motherland?
Uh, yeah, so, whenever we decide to take up a profession and do a job, the first requirement I would suggest you all look for is, are you going to enjoy doing that job? When you do a job, you should be clear in your mind and in your heart that you will enjoy doing it. And after that, make sure when you're doing that job, you enjoy it. Now, when you keep that as your first focus of doing a job well, the money part of it becomes secondary. Uh, you know, money might look attractive initially, but as you go down the path of life, uh, everybody realizes that money cannot get you happiness. It just can't get you happiness. It can only get you more and more tension. It can get you more and more stress. It can give you more and more health problems. So, what gives you good health, good stress free life, a very peaceful sleep at night is the fact that you are enjoying doing the job that you're doing, and you take little bit of time off in helping somebody else. When you help somebody else, you see a smile in somebody else's face. You see a satisfaction in somebody else's face. I think that is what gives you a very, very nice and comfortable, peaceful sleep at night, and that keeps you healthy. So if you keep that as a focus, I'm 100% sure you will not look at the pay package at the end of the month as the first priority. That will become your second, third, fourth priority, and automatically you'll start enjoying living a much better life, and you will give much more to society.
Yes, sir. As Meghana said, a lot of people are very interested with interacting with you. So I'll be handovering this to Mradul. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, so good evening, sirs.
Hello.
So first of all, happy birthday, Grish sir.
Hey, thanks, Mudhu.
So, sir, how are you?
Good, great. Absolutely feeling younger, especially
Oh,
talking
very.
to you all.
Thank you, sir. So, sir, my question is, sir, how do the social media and the news channels affect the people on their outlook about the armed forces?
My personal opinion is social media has actually done a lot of good. It has done a lot of good in bringing out facts. It has done a lot of good in taking to people the actual facts about armed forces and giving them a glimpse of what goes on in the armed forces. So it has brought them closer to the services and made them realize what the services are all about. And then the journey started from Kargil days, as Vinku Afra said, that when the TV brought your war right into your drawing rooms. So I look at it social media in a positive way. There are pitfalls of social media where you tend to get fake news, you tend to get wrong news, and you also tend to get very very kind of aggressive reactions and reactions without thinking. One needs to learn how to ignore that totally. And one of the best ways of handling such things in social media is not to respond to them. And if you don't respond to that, automatically any kind of aggressiveness, any kind of incorrect information that keeps dying down a natural death. But I am very positive about social media because that ensures that truth is always floating around and it cannot get hidden. So I really like social media. It's brought armed forces closer to the people and the country.
Yes, sir. Sir, Afra, sir, what are your views on this?
Yeah, I think social media and news channels are two different, I would say, variety of media, and they work in a different space, and they have different followers and audience, I would say. Social media is more, as I Vinko Girish said, that I'll agree that uh, social media has brought closer the armed forces with the public, and because a lot of news and information about the armed forces is available. But at the same time, uh, as young people, you have to be responsible consumer of this information, because there's a deluge of information, and one has to really sift through that information, which can be useful, and you must be able to, I would say, understand the difference between fake and the actual information, which is itself is a challenge. But yes, it has done, I think, more good than bad. It has also generated a whole lot of armchair, fighters, social media soldiers. When anything happens on the border, and there's a huge, uproar by all these armchair soldiers.
Yes, sir.
Eliminate them, kill them, and do this and do that, and
Yes, sir.
so it doesn't work that way.
Yes,
So
sir.
one has to
Nobody wants war.
one has to understand these kind of euphoria, or kind of you can say the fake narratives generated. So one has to be really careful about that. So whereas the news channels are, they are more, I would say, commercially, and most of the news channels are owned by either one or other political parties. They are more driven by political agendas, and that's how the debates go on. Some of the debates are totally unwarranted, fake, and uncalled for. They don't give you the correct picture on the ground. So probably social media that way is much better than news channels, I would say, because at least social media is self-driven by the people. But there are organized troll gangs, who try to change the narrative and all that. So there's a lot of confusion. There's a lot of I would say, noise, and one has to really sift through noise and get the correct information. So that depends on individual, and so one has to be really careful about that. My advice would be to the young people.
Okay, sir. That's good. So that as a lot of things are going around, I want to ask you that how can the women's safety be ensured?
Come again?
Is
Can you
that
repeat?
So I am asking that how can the women's safety can be ensured? Sir,
uh,
am I audible?
yeah, yeah, okay. So the question is about safety of women.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Ensuring the safety of women starts at home. So in your own home, if you respect your mothers, sisters, your relatives, you give them their space, you give them their chance to voice their opinion, you give them equal position and rights, automatically I think the society as such improves. The second part is, as we go out, like we are a country of different types of people, different cultures, different regions, different languages. Anytime you see a lady not being respected, I think you have to show that you respect the person. Anytime you see that a lady is being denied her rights, you you have to speak up and say that this lady should get her rights, and that is a basic fundamental stuff of being providing safety to the women. Unless this starts here, any amount of law or any amount of policing, that will have some result, but that will not have the final result that you want. So therefore, my suggestion to all of you here is that starting from now, ensure that when you see a lady around, you look at her with huge amount of respect, you give them respect, and automatically it transforms into safe environment and a safe life for lady. I think that's the only suggestion and a little mantra I can give to all of you.
Sir, now the question is for Afra, sir, that what do you think is the status of women empowerment in India?
It's a very, very, I think, uh, broad question. And uh, you are asking this question to a soldier. Okay, so I will just answer that. That if you want to see the respect for women and women empowerment, join the armed forces. That's all I will say. The kind of respect they get in armed forces, uh, they can it's not there anywhere else. And if you want to learn, as Vinku Girish said, the only mantra is that it has to start from home. Apart from that, the only place to learn to respect women is armed forces. That's what I will say as a soldier.
Okay, sir. So my next question is, sir, that what are your opinion on self-reliant India and how it can be achieved?
Uh, Self-reliant India, all throughout our career and my school days, college days, on to my service life, and thereafter outside in the commercial aviation and out civilian life. Only of late, I feel there is some kind of a very, very serious effort in becoming self-reliant. This is something which I feel we should have started doing years and years back. We didn't pay adequate attention to it, and now time where more attention is being given, possibly because the situation in this country today, we are facing a huge amount of threat from northern side as well as from western side. Today, we are realizing that if we don't depend on ourselves, at any point in time, we can fall short of equipment, things, items, food. So, becoming self reliant is extremely important. And there are two aspects of it. First aspect is producing whatever you want within the country. And second aspect is make do with whatever is available. So right now we should start with the fact that let us use, let us buy, let us consume what is made in India. If we do that, automatically, as even as the simplest and the smallest person in the country, we are giving a push to becoming self-reliant, and that is going to help us in creating our own stuff within the country. So that is my thought process on becoming self-reliant and how we can contribute towards it.
Okay, sir, Afra, sir, your views on it.
Again, it's a very, very broad question, and uh, probably there could be many, many answers. There can't be one single answer. But again, broadly, again, because it's a broad question, I'll just answer broadly uh, that this country, if it wants to become self-reliant or aspires to be counted among the great nations of the world, we have to have, first of all, a nationalistic feeling among all the citizens, a culture of thinking about the country in whatever we do. If that culture is there, if every citizen thinks about the country in whichever field they're working, whatever they are doing, then all the problems of the country will be addressed. Because that's the need. That's the need, actually. And that is the, you can say, the underlying objective of Honor Point, in short. that is what we want to do.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. It was my honor talking to you, sir. Henceforth, Siddharth will be taking over. He has some important questions for you.
Thank you, brother. And good evening, sir.
Hi, Siddharth.
Yes, I have been listening to your journey, the struggles you faced, and all the things from right from the beginning. So I just want to ask you, what kept you motivated throughout your journey when you faced the challenges, when you were down in your life? What kept you motivated, and what keeps someone motivated throughout his life to achieve something? Yes, Girish, sir.
See, in a very simple way, if I have to answer that question, uh, my motivation towards the job that I was doing every day was a fact that I was completely enjoying doing that job. And it was always in the back of my mind that when I do a job, I must give it my best. And at the end of the day, I should feel very happy with myself that I have done the best what I can. Why I use these words is like this. All of us cannot become a top notch professional. All of us cannot become the best in a field. Yet, all of us can become good people who contribute very positively to our field. So just do that. When you go out to do in the morning something, just do that job to the best of your ability. Not only you will enjoy it, the people around you are going to enjoy and appreciate what you're doing. And that's the best way to keep yourself motivated.
Yes, sir. Definitely, we'll follow that. And Afrad, sir, I also want to ask youth. Generally, young people these days are giving up to failures. They are, falling down to small issues. They are committing suicides or something. So, how can they overcome their weakness? And what's your message regarding this?
Well, I think first of all, people who do not value life, value themselves, normally suffer these kind of problems. So first, you should look at the gift of God. See, the biggest gift of God is your health. You are a human being, and you have, your limbs are working. You're able to think. You are able to see. These are the gifts of God. And if you at least love God or at least pray, if you have some respect for God, first respect yourself. Respect the gift which the God has given. And if you value that, you will take care of that. So that is the first thing which is required. Value yourself, value that gift of God. And once you appreciate the value, then you will start taking care of it. And then only you can do something else, something better. So I think that is the first thing for people, some people whom you are quoting that, they are committing suicide and all that. I think that's the first step which is required. Then only you can think of something else.
Yes, sir, definitely. And it was very wonderful talking to you, sir. And before having vote of thanks, do you want to say something to all the viewers watching? Finally, to conclude. Girish, sir,
I have
and
a very
Afrad.
simple, I have a very simple message to all of you. Uh, you know, you all are going to step into a wide world where you're going to choose your options and do things. Choose your options very, very wisely. Choose the options, and once you've chosen it, please give it your entire thing, your heart, your soul, everything to do well in that field of life. And automatically, the God will bless you and you will come out the winner. So thank you and Jai Hind to all of you.
Yes, sir. Afrad, sir, do you want to tell something finally?
Yeah, I'll repeat what I said earlier. That's again a message for all the young people. Uh, you have a long life ahead, and I'm sure you are working towards aspirations. One thing again, I'll repeat that: try to become job creators than job seekers. That is the need of the country. That's how you can help the country and help yourself. And really, you will be able to use all your talent, whatever you have, because it requires that all your talent in doing that. So that is the first message. And second is, for heaven's sake, for God's sake, associate with some cause. Associate with some cause. This the social, the social work field. It doesn't have to be manned only by old people like us. It requires young, energetic people, because there are massive problems this country is facing, and these problems have to be addressed by young people. So associate with this any cause, work for Honor Point or any other cause. Give your 3 months, 6 months, full time. Not just a hobby, or not just for interest sake. Get involved. Get involved with some social cause. That will make you a complete person, and that will be useful to you in your entire life. Because once you have compassion, once you have feeling for others, once you understand the problems of others, then only you will realize the worth of your knowledge, of your health, whatever you have, whatever God has given. Then only you'll be grateful to God that you have so much potential to help others, to do something for others. So these two things I just want to convey to young people, uh, and I think if at least 1% of you understand what I'm trying to say, then I think I'll be very happy.
Yes, sir. Sure, sir. We will definitely follow all the teachings what you thought in the last 1 hour. Not 1%, all the 100%. We promise you that we'll be following your teachings. And thank you very much, sir. And finally, we'll have vote of thanks, sir, by Teju.
Thank you so much, sir. That was really a wonderful session, sir. Afraz sir and Girish sir, that was really a wonderful session. Firstly, thank you so much for taking time out of your schedules for interacting with us, sir. I would like to thank Somi ma'am for helping us get in touch with such amazing and inspiring people. We salute you both for being our guardians. I'm sure we all learned something today and get to walk away with it. Thank you so much, sir, once again.
Jai Hind. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you and Jai Hind. Take care.